Welcome to Rituals. So before we dive into what rituals are, how to plan them, I want to talk about the importance of emotional intimacy. And so emotional intimacy in a relationship is having that mutual trust, respect, being able to express your most inner thoughts and feelings with one another, and just be able to be yourself and connect with each other. Emotional intimacy is not just built overnight or through one grand gesture. It's actually being able to put in consistent effort and being intentional about the time that you spend together over a long course of time, and it's actually a lifelong journey. So being able to have a consistent routine or ritual where the two of you are engaging with each other, you're present, you're spending time with one another is extremely important to continue building that emotional intimacy. And so let's look at some of the things that you may already be doing, right? So a lot of couples may already have these small little pieces in their schedule where they spend time with each other. So a ritual may look like every day you have a morning routine, right? You may have coffee together, you may go for a walk, you may start the day just chit-chatting about what you have going on. And that's a routine and a ritual that you may already have that you may not realize. But what's important about maintaining this is making sure that the two of you are present during it and you feel connected and close to each other. Having a weekly ritual could actually look like this course, right? You've decided to commit your time to prioritizing your relationship and working on this course every week for about 1 to 2 hours together. That is something that the two of you can rely on, that you're putting in the work and the effort to be consistent and be close to one another and build that intimacy. There could be things on a monthly basis, quarterly, biannually, and annually. And so when we look at these rituals and creating them, we want to make sure that we're being very realistic and that these goals are attainable. You may hear all the time and see on social media that date night is super important for couples. You should go every week or every other week. And that's great, right, if you're actually able to. But a lot of the time, couples aren't able to stay consistent with that. And if we have a goal that we can't meet and it's not attainable, it's actually going to make us feel worse about ourselves and our relationship instead of finding something that is attainable and realistic to stick to. So we want to start super small, right? What is something every day that the two of you can dedicate 5 minutes to? And I know what you're going to say. We don't have time. I don't have time. I'm busy. We rarely see each other. Our work schedules conflict. Our kids are taking up a lot of our time. That's all valid. However, let's think about what you're really saying. So I've had the same circumstance with a lot of couples that I work with where I say, we have to prioritize creating a ritual for the two of you. And they'll say, I don't have time. And I'll say, okay, what I'm hearing you say is working on my relationship and being with my partner is not a priority. Oof. That does not sound or feel good, right? That might feel a little harsh, but it's true. Right? We can't create more time. We don't have more time in the day, but what we can do is prioritize the time we do have to the most important things in our life. So it's just like if you brush your teeth every day, you have prioritized your dental health, right? You have dedicated time every morning for several minutes to make sure that you're taking care of your teeth. That's a priority, right? You could easily say, I don't have time, but you know the consequences are pretty bad. So that really goes for your relationship too. If you are not prioritizing time for your relationship and your partner to connect, to build that emotional intimacy, to share memories and be close to each other, it will start to feel like the two of you are drifting and there will be that lack of closeness and connection. And when we have that lack of connection, we start to feel lonely. Right? We start to see our partner in a different way. We start to view our relationship negatively. And we tend to have more arguments and conflicts. And the conflicts actually last longer and are more intense because we don't have this positive feeling to fall back on. Or we don't know that tomorrow and every other day after this, I know I'm going to spend time with my partner connecting. If that's not already built into your schedule in your life. So we can start super small, right? Where in your day, in both your days, do you have 2 to 5 minutes that you can spend with each other? Doesn't have to be anything super grand. It's just these small little moments that compound over time that you know you can count on. Let's say your partner leaves for work much earlier than you do, or they wake up much earlier than you do for their schedule. They could wake you up while you're still in bed, and the two of you can hug or kiss or just chat for a couple minutes and then both go about your days. So, every morning the two of you are connecting for a short period of time. And every night when you go to bed, you might brush your teeth together, you might laugh, talk about the day, lay in bed together for a couple minutes and chat, and then go to sleep, right? You start the day and you end the day connecting. It's going to be really important to prioritize this. Another important part of creating these rituals is that they don't have to be super rigid because you set them before. So what that means is our life is going to change. Our circumstances, our schedule, the things that are important to us are going to shift and look different throughout life. And so it's important to be adaptable and pivot when you have these rituals. So my husband and I, we have been going on a morning walk with our coffee every day for the last 6 years, outside of snowstorms or raining, right? These exceptions. But we make it a point every single day to go for these walks together because we feel close. We get to talk, we're connecting the first thing in the morning, and we see each other. We have a child now, we have a newborn. And so having that morning walk is actually causing more stress in our schedule and life because we have to focus on our baby first thing in the morning. So we decided together this is no longer working for us and serving the purpose of feeling connected. So where can we shift this ritual? So now we go on an evening walk together and we bring the baby. So we made that plan and that decision together. We didn't just scrap the walk altogether and say, we don't have time for this anymore, it's inconvenient, and then have a gap in our day of being close to each other. We decided to shift it into a different way that was more realistic and attainable, where we still prioritize that time together. And so that's going to be important to think about, is not being rigid in when it is or how it looks, allowing it to change over time, but being intentional and consistent with the time you do spend with each other and making sure that you're present and engaging with one another. I remember when I was going through my training to become a therapist, one of my mentors and professors actually said something that really stood out to me and has carried with me through this time. She said, in life, there's going to be a lot of stressors. It's going to get hard. It's going to get difficult. There's going to be death and loss and grief and rough patches in your relationship. If you don't have memories to pull from, if you don't have rituals or things to pull from your past to rely on to see your partner in a positive way, it's going to be really hard to do life together. And it's going to be hard to move through those difficult periods in your life if you don't have all of these positive shared memories that you can fall back on. And it's kind of like having a photo album, right? Why do we have a photo album? So we can look at these photos and it brings us back into that space. It lets us remember in our thoughts and in our body how it felt to have those experiences with our partner, right? We were happy, we were smiling, we were enjoying things, we were connecting, we were in love, right? We had silly moments. And so it's hard to remember that when we're in the thick of things and when we're stressed and fighting. So these rituals serve a really big purpose in our relationship. So this is our daily ones, right? We can also have them spread out a little bit more, where we can have a weekly one, like I mentioned, is this course, a monthly one, right? That might be more realistic for your relationship to have a date night once a month, where you have a really nice evening or you have an activity planned together. You might have something every quarter. Maybe you go on a small getaway together, or you go hiking, you do some kind of day trip together that is dedicated to the two of you, that you have this shared moment together. Or maybe you go on maybe 1 or 2 large vacations every year where it's really condensed the time you spend together. They're all important and they serve different purposes. However, I want us to really focus and prioritize on that daily one, because that's the one that compounds over time. You spend much more time throughout the year together outside of vacation. So how can we pull that feeling you have together each day a little bit and not just in one condensed period on a vacation? So take some time to identify the rituals that you already have, because I'm sure you do. Think about, are you being present and engaged during that time? And then sit and think about where in your schedule do you have small gaps of time, right? Like I said, it doesn't have to be large or big or anything grand. So if the two of you see each other when one of you gets home from work or from somewhere else, make it a point to greet your partner every time. Give them a hug, Give them a kiss, a hello, talk about your day really quickly, share a moment together so that you are committed to that. Another small one each day that you can do is maybe in a couple minutes you put on one song, right? One song's about 2 minutes long. I think everybody can spare 2 minutes to feel close to their partner. So have fun with this.